Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president of Nigeria, has just filed a motion in a court in Washington, D.C., United States, seeking to be an intervenor in the Freedom of Information Act filed by Aaron Greenspan and David Uday, a Nigerian investigative journalist. He has been on the neck of Bola Ahmed Tinubu for a while, and he increased pressure prior to the 2023 presidential elections. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is suing the FBI, IRS, DEA, and other agencies. He is restricting them from releasing thousands of files on him. The FBI, due to pressure, have agreed to release about 500 pages per month. But as it is right now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is seeking to block the release of these documents to the public. He doesn't want anyone to know about the secret dealings or whatever crime allegation that they have on him. Bola Ahmed Tinubu did the same when Atiku Abubakar dug deep into his academic records, particularly that of Chicago State University. He tried. Bola Ahmed Tinubu did a lot to block that, but unfortunately, he could not. Everything came to light. Well, there are those who said that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has never, spent time in prison, that you could be accused of one or two or three or thousands of crimes, but if you did not spend time in jail, probably it means that you did not commit the crime or there are no enough evidence to nail you. We all know about the forfeiture of certain amount of money by Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the government of the US. I do know that Bola Ahmed Tinubu was indicted, but he wasn't convicted. And if you're not convicted, you cannot be sent to jail. Probably his lawyers were able to put up a strong case and he was able to escape this. And the FBI investigators were unable to nail him to the point where he will be sent to jail. Well, according to the promise that the FBI gave, the files of Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be released at the end of October. It will be out there for anyone to peruse, for anyone to see and read. Now, there are those who are of the opinion also that these documents, once they are released, it will kind of work against the image of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president of Nigeria. Maybe the Supreme Court could use this info if parties, aggrieved parties, opposition are able to present it. But files that indicate or shows that someone is involved or was indicted, I do not know if that is enough to get rid of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president of Nigeria. We all know, and we've been talking about this, the structure, the system in Nigeria permits criminality. 99.9% of those that are in politics are all criminals. They have been involved in one crime or the other. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not going to be the first person. Neither is he going to be the last person, considering the structure and system that is still maintained till date. Many people have talked about separation of power, where the judiciary, the legislators, and the executive have their own independent power and none can muscle on the other. But you know what it is in Nigeria? We run a presidential system where the president is the alpha and the omega. The president can decide to rubbish legislators. Very easy. He can simply take security details from them and they will be prone to some form of dangers and attack, and that's it. They know how to run the show. The presidency can also muscle on the judiciary. We've heard cases, countless of it, where judges have been threatened and attacked and their security details taken off them. So we live in a country where the president reigns supreme, where the president can do whatever he wants at any time. Talk about waste. There are a lot of parastatals and government agencies that are not supposed to be there. It's more or less like a repetition. Talk about ministerial appointments. Talk about special advisors or advisors to the president. We have repetition of duties. Some duties are not even cleared. Now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu recently visited the United States And one should begin to think of the amount of money spent on such journey. I know it is not cheap to fly a private jet, an aircraft down to the US, and the president of Nigeria will not think of traveling to the US or outside of Nigeria, particularly a man, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as a private jet, as a private citizen, as the president of Nigeria, definitely he would want to run his own private aircraft to the United States. According to the report, Bola Ahmed Tinubu spent 422,820 US dollars in this recent United Nations trip. And you probably want to find out and ask, and what is the purpose of this trip? What does Nigeria as a country stand to gain from it? And what are the implications of this trip? Who are those who benefited from this trip? And most of the times when African leaders, rulers, presidents are to speak in the United Nations, you barely find anyone in attendance. That's how awful. And many of them have not realized this and tell the United Nations, sorry, we are busy. We are busy putting things together in our country. We will not be attending this meeting. No, not at all. According to what we've seen and what we've heard, most of the times they schedule African leaders, African rulers, they schedule their time, their speech, they schedule it at the hours where all stakeholders in the United Nations are done. Is this not enough for the Nigerian president or the African rulers to take time off from the United Nations? But they are not ready to do the right thing, regardless of how intelligent, how cunning, how smart they often want to present themselves. Look at Bola Ahmed Tinubu. One would have thought that he probably would have looked at the United Nations and he would be like, you know what? It is not mandatory that we sit to listen to presentations and all of that. But why do you allot specific time that are counterproductive to us as African leaders? We are not coming. I am not going to attend this meeting. I do not know when we will get it right in that country called Nigeria. A lot of things are wrong. And it has become a culture, it has become a tradition, it has become a way of life. Nobody sees anything wrong with what we are going through. Talk about basic amenities. It is not available. I thought the city boy, the man that says he loves electricity, I thought he would have started working on electricity, making sure that we have constant electricity, at least constant electricity, so that we can begin to talk about innovation and progress. But till date, the city boy who wanted to bring electricity into Lagos, Nigeria, is not ready to begin that step. He knows how tough it could be. He knows that there are a lot of hoops and a lot of barriers that needs to be crossed. He has not started that. Well, probably because he's fighting and looking for ways to block, bribe, and pay lawyers to help block and stop information, dirt that are on him. A lot of it are on him. And the United States are ready to produce this. Now, when Bola Ahmed Tinubu went to the United Nations, he was supposed to meet with the President of the United States, Joe Biden. But Joe Biden was advised by his advisors not to attend to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, stating those criminal records that they have against them. These are one of the reasons why people said Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Atiku Abubakar, and some other people are not the right persons for that post as president, as the United States have a lot of them. We need a president that can relate to his counterparts in a balanced and in a fearless manner. If you are to speak in a certain manner, they will simply open your records and show to the world. This is how they operate. They know the power of the media. Guys, what are your thoughts as regards to this one? Like and share, subscribe to this channel. See you in the next update.